Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my Bookish Life. Today I want to narrow down my bookish word choices for the Buzzword Reading Challenge. So let's get to it. If you saw my TBR priorities video, you saw that my choices are Plot Twist by Bethany Turner, The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan, The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James, and The Plot by Hanff Korelitz. So we're going to see how much the first little bit intrigues me and go from there. What if I went through and I just read the first line? Let's do that first. Okay. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Senior Capstone Project Proposal 2019-2020. Okay. This is not the most intriguing. It's a mixed media. Like the first line is not really a line. Let me find like a line. Pip knew where they lived. All right. The Book of Cold Cases. The first line is, the Greer mansion sat high on a hill overlooking the town and the ocean. Okay. The plot. Okay. Jacob Finch Bonner, the once prominent author of the new and noteworthy The New York Times Book Review novel, The Invention of Wonder, led himself into the office he'd been assigned on the second floor of Richard Peng Hall, set his beat-up leather satchel on the barren desk, and looked around in something akin to despair. Kind of love that. Okay. Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. Lost in the shadows of the shelves, I almost fall off the ladder. Okay. The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. Lamb to the Slaughter, 1953 Roald Dahl. Wife kills husband with frozen leg of lamb, then disposes the weapon by feeding it to the cops. Oh, it's a book review. Nice. All right, and plot twist. Mind if I sit here? I looked up, already disgusted. I'd been hit on 4 times in the 3 hours I'd been taking up space at Mugs and Shots, my neighborhood coffee place. Well, that just sounds pretentious. Okay. I'm just kidding. It's a good first line. I'm going to say this was the most intriguing first line. Then actually these. Then this one. Then this one. Then this one. All right, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to read the first little bit, and then I'm going to determine my top 3. So, don't worry, I'll speed this up. Okay, so this jumps in right in on a meet cute between Olivia, who's the main character, and she is sitting in a coffee shop, and she gets hit on by a whole bunch of people. The fourth guy that approaches her is literally just looking for a seat. So she gets all embarrassed. And another guy approaches while she's sitting next to this guy. And this is a guy that sits down. So the guy that had sat down starts pretending to be her boyfriend and to get rid of this new guy. That's great. It was funny. There was an interruption in the narrative where she's like, please excuse me for being such an idiot. I have no idea. So at least the first couple chapters are all February 4th of some year. So this is February 4th of 2003. And then it every year on February 4th, she just has this crazy day. She's an aspiring screenwriter who writes greeting cards on the side for Heartlight greeting card company. Oh, that's delightful. All right, so next is The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This one intrigues me so much. I love mixed media. I just think it's so good. It's just such an intriguing way to tell a story. This might have been a bad idea because I just want to keep reading this right now and I have other stuff that I want to read today. Pip is writing about a disappearance, presumed murder that took place in her hometown 5 years ago. And the boyfriend, who was presumed guilty, died by suicide. So they don't have any concrete proof that it was the boyfriend, except for that. And she's researching this for her senior capstone thesis, whatever. And she submitted one report of what she was doing. And the teacher was like, this is fine, but it's a sensitive topic. So you can't, contact either family involved. It would be a breach of ethics, whatever. And then the very next thing she does is go to the house of the boyfriend and talk to his brother to ask for an interview. So she's compiling all of her research into this one spot. And it's so good. There's even, I'm one chapter in and I'm it's so good. Okay. But there are footnotes as if this is a school project. Oh my gosh, come on, Bowman. Look at this. Footnotes as to where she found the information that she got. I'm gonna love this. Okay, so far this is ahead of plot twist. Although they're really different. Plot twist is funny. I really enjoyed how funny this was, but this is just so much more intriguing to me. All right, so next is the Book of Cold Cases. Simone St. James with the true crime blogger. I loved Sundown Motel a lot. And I want to read more from Simone St. James. So Greer Mansion was owned by Julian Greer, and he did all this stuff to try to make it beautiful for his wife Mariana, and she hated it because it was creepy. The lawn was flat and dead, and the ocean beyond the cliff was choppy and cold. I just love her writing and her description. It's just so good. By 1975, both Julian and Mariana were dead. Julian with his blood all over the kitchen floor, and Mariana in a twisted wreck of a car crash. The house watched it all happen, indifferent. And then I didn't read on from there because this is chapter 2, but chapter 2 starts with Shay in September of 2017. And she's talking about meeting Beth Greer, who is not one of the people that was mentioned. All right. The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. A.J. Fikry is a curmudgeon. I don't know how old he is, but is he a lovable old curmudgeon? Or is he just annoying? I don't know. Amelia is centered here, and she's supposed to sell books from her publisher to A.J. Fikry for his store, and he's mean. Ooh. I mean, I still want to read this. I just don't know if it's a book that I want to read now. I think this goes on the bottom. Again, I still want to read all of these books. This is not like me trying to get rid of anything. But, yeah. All right. Mr. Penumbra's 24-hour bookstore. So I really liked Sourdough, another book of his that I have read, and it's gotten mixed reviews because it's super weird. It's weird. I really liked it. I thought that it was so creative, and I loved how the sourdough was like, this like glob of sourdough was like this character in the book. I just thought it was wildly imaginative. That was chosen for my book club. So this book I've actually was more intrigued by of the two Robin Sloan books I am aware of. I don't know if he has another one. This was the one that I was more intrigued by, and I did enjoy the one that I read. That was forced upon me. So I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to enjoy this. but we will see. So I did not read a full chapter of this, but this is not the book that I want to read right now. I am still interested in reading it. It's not catching my attention right now. I'm looking for light. This is the main character, Clay, complaining about his unemployment. He's like a graphic designer, and he's like unemployed, and he's talking about this bagel company that he was like the marketing guru for, and then they went belly up, and so he had less than a year of experience. I do still want to read this book. I am still interested in this book. I know that sounded like I wasn't very interested in it. However, I was intrigued by the description in here. I know there's a point to where he's going in the story. I just don't want to hear it right now. So then the plot is my last one. So the first chapter of this ends with some foreshadowing of what is coming. I love that. This is a lot more literary. So what's his name? Jacob Finch Bonner is kind of a washed up novelist. His first book did okay. His second book was published by like this relatively unknown publisher. And his third book, he failed to get published by anyone. It's really loud. Outside my window, I'm kind of hoping that you can't hear that. But maybe you can, so I'm sorry if you can. So he failed to get his third and his fourth novels even published. And so now he's kind of washed up, and he is working as a professor of this Master of Creative Writing program at this college. And so there's a trope in here that I don't like, and I knew reading the description that it was in here, so I'm going to give it a pass. That idea that if you fail at whatever it is that you want to do, you can just teach it and it's going to be fine. Which I know is, like you can fail at being successful at something but still be really good at it and therefore able to teach it, and that's fine. However, this perpetuated idea that professors are people that wanted to do other things but are now stuck being professors. I don't like that. I don't like that idea, but I'm going to give it a pass. I knew that that's what this was about. I knew that it was a college professor who used to be a good writer, and so I knew that trope was going to be in here. It wasn't that's not shocking. there's some humor in this. It's not like, it's more of a dry humor than, say, Plot Twist, where it was like, you know, the whole time. But there is like this dry humor where it's like, AKA this, AKA, you know, where it gives you this kind of like idea of what they're going for. And I do kind of, I like that. It's interesting and really kind of digs deep into what's going to happen right away. I really do think that I'm going to like this. I don't know if I would put it before this in terms of right now, like in terms of where these books sit, in terms of what I'm looking for right now, and how intriguing this was. This was light and fluffy and fantastic, and it just, you know, and this was wry humor that I just don't know if I'm in the mood. I have to tie these two. Like, they're tied. Okay. So here's my order. Good Girl's Guide to Murder, for sure. Most intriguing start, just like jumps in right away. All the information, just the mixed media. I just love it. Book of Cold Cases. See, now I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that thinks maybe these two should be above this one, but I don't know. So I'm going to say these four are like my top four. And then these two I'm just going to kind of put on my shelves in a spot where I can see them. These are going to go on my TBR pile for this month, and we'll see which ones I get to. So that's it. I hope this video didn't get too long. The parts with me reading, I am going to speed up. I'm going to take some of it out. So it's not like it's really going to be as long as this raw footage is. There's a ton of raw footage here, but I'm hoping that it's not too long. I hope that you find it interesting and that you got something out of it. It was kind of fun to make a decision this way, putting them in order. I'm still really stressed out about this order, though. I don't know if it's really, I don't know if this is the correct order I should have put them in, but I am really excited for this prompt in the Buzzword Reading Challenge. It's a great prompt, and I love bookish books. It's just a buzzword for me that I gravitate towards. So obviously I was going to have a lot of options. Let me know what you think of the books that I have. Let me know if you think that I need to give any of these books better or more consideration. I would love to hear from you down in the comments. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you would like to see more from me, please make sure you're subscribed. I hope you're finding something wonderful to read. And until next time, happy reading. Bye.